What's up, guys? We held a Dinosaur Spelling Bee to see who the best speller is at the dinosaur park. Here we go! 5 of our staff members went head-to-head to see who could spell the most dinosaur names correctly. Each contestant was given 2 easy questions, then 1 medium question, and then 1 difficult question, and if they spelled each of those correctly, they would then be given a medium and then a difficult question, alternating until they spelled one incorrectly. So long as you spelled every word correctly, you stayed in the competition, but the minute that you spell a wrong word, you're out.
No!
Our first contestant was Canton, one of our front desk staff who was in charge of organizing birthday parties for the park. Canton, your word is Tyrannosaurus.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna freak out. Okay. Tyrannosaurus. Oh my goodness, okay. Tyrannosaurus.
That's correct.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I was almost wrong on that one. I was freaking out over Tyrannosaurus. I'm like, that's the one that's gonna get me.
Canton spelled both of his easy dinosaurs correctly, but then fell on his medium difficulty word.
Your next word is Janosaurus.
Could you use that in a sentence, please?
Janosaurus is a dinosaur.
G-A-I-N-O-S-A-U-R-U-S.
Next up was Ron from our education department, who you might recognize as the host of Nerdin' Out on our channel.
Alright, Ron, your first word is Mayungosaurus.
Once again, Ron spelled both of his first 2 words correctly, but missed his third.
T-S-I-T-A-O-S-A-U-R-S.
Oh. Next up was Garrett, another member of our education department.
Hello, Garrett.
Hello.
There seemed to be a trend here. Everyone was being able to spell most of the easy words correctly, but like his last 2 opponents, Garrett was unable to spell his medium difficulty name.
O-N-I-X? Baryonyx? Where's the Y? Oh.
Neither of our last 2 contestants, Ian and Joseph, were able to spell their first word correctly. And Joseph only messed his up because he'd always heard his dinosaur's name mispronounced.
I'm always known as Jiganota.
We can fact check it real quick. You have your phone? Make sure that I spelled it right on here.
You're probably right. It's just that all these things are pronounced differently by different people. I've always known as Jiganota.
And that actually brings us to the purpose of this whole video. Why are dinosaur names so hard to pronounce, let alone to spell? Like, why do we call this thing Velociraptor mongoliensis instead of something that's easier to pronounce, like Steve? And the answer actually begins with this guy, the simple bumblebee. But wait a minute, this isn't a bee, this is a wasp. But it looks like a bee. And this one actually is a bee, but this one is also a bee. But this one has a yellow back and this one has a black back, so are they both actually bees? And in that case, is this actually a bee as well? And don't even get me started on this thing. But there's another problem too, because here in America, we call this a bee, but if I were to go to China, they'd call it a
蜜蜂
and if I went to Mexico, they'd call it a
abeja.
and in China and Mexico, are they talking about this guy, this guy, this guy, or this guy? Okay, I think you see the problem. Scientists noticed the problem too, and they realized that they needed to organize plants and animals in a way that would eliminate this confusion between languages and between different types of creatures. And that first started with a man by the name of Aristotle. Aristotle compiled a book about all of the animals that he knew about, including some fake ones, and even gave some of them scientific names. Now, those scientific names weren't very official, so we still needed a better way to organize animals and plants. And that didn't finally happen until the 1700s with a guy named Carl Linnaeus. Linnaeus began cataloging plants and animals by giving each individual type of organism its own 2-name designation. The way that this naming system worked was if an organism was biologically distinct enough from any other organism, it would be given its own 2 names. This organization system was given a big fancy name of its own called binomial nomenclature, which literally translates to 2-name name-calling. The first of these 2 names is an organism's genus, or their generic name. The second name is an organism's species, or specific name. The reason that Linnaeus used this system is because it makes organizing plant and animal life super easy. Let's go back to the bee for a moment. No, not that bee. That bee. Just by looking at these bees, you can probably tell that they're closely related. They're very similar in shape and size, but like we mentioned earlier, they do have some anatomical differences. Because they are a little too different from each other, we would assign them to their own genus and species names. Apis mellifera, the honeybee, and Bombus cryptarum, the bumblebee. The same thing goes with this wasp, Vespula germanica. This one, however, I'm not so sure about. A lot of the time we use Latin and Greek names for their genus and species, which allows us to use those names all around the world without getting mixed up with other languages. But because we name them in Greek and Latin, sometimes they can be really wacky to read or spell, like this species of fly called Parastratiospheca stratiosphecamyoides. Try saying that one 10 times fast. And we use the same classification system for dinosaurs too, but we also use a lot of dinosaur names that don't come from Greek or Latin, like this dinosaur with an Aztec name,
Wawakanotlis.
which sometimes makes the dinosaur names even harder to pronounce or spell. And that might not be that much fun to you, but it's certainly fun for us when we're running a spelling bee.
Wawakanotlis. J-U-A?
And speaking of that, let's go back to the bee. No, not that bee! Context clues, guys, come on! In the first round of the bee, Canton, Ron, and Garrett all tied for first with 2 out of 3 names spelled correctly. We decided to hold a tiebreaker round to figure out who the overall champion speller was, but Canton had to head home for the day, so we disqualified him. In this final round, Garrett and Ron swapped medium and difficult words, and whoever spelled 2 words correctly won the competition. And let's just say, it was not that easy for either of our finalists. Your word is Pachycephalosaurus.
Pachycephalosaurus. Oh, come on!
Garrett, your word is Ned Colbertia, or Ned Colbertia.
Could you use it in a sentence?
Yes, Nicolas Cage has never met a live Ned Colbertia.
Ned Colbertia. K-N-E-D-C-O-L-B-E-R-T-I-A?
At this point, things were looking pretty grim.
Just spell the word.
I-U-K.
You can't just say it.
I-U-K-O-A-I-U-K-O-U.
At this point, you're probably wondering if anyone's going to spell a word right. Well, everything changed with a dinosaur named
Daxiatitan. D-A-X-I-A-O-T-I-T-A-N.
Garrett, you have the chance to steal the word. Daxiatitan.
Could you repeat that?
Daxiatitan.
Daxiatitan. D-A-X-I-A-T-I-T-A-N. Daxiatitan.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, I literally looked that guy up a couple weeks ago.
Ron needed to spell a word correctly now.
N-O-M-D-I-M-U-N? Oh!
Your next word is Brachytrachelopan.
Oh, Brachytrachelopan. Came into this one.
You started so confident.
You know, I really like Brachytrachelopan, so I got a little excited. B-R-A-C-H-Y-T-R-A-C-H-E-L-O-P-A-N. Brachytrachelopan.
That is correct.
What? Yeah, baby! Yeah! Knew it! I'd like to thank my fellow nominees. Thank you, Ron.
So, in the end, Garrett did come out on top. But do you know who really came out on top? All of us, because we learned a little bit more about why dinosaur names are so terrible to use in a spelling bee. And we've all got Carl Linnaeus to thank for that. Well, thanks for watching today, guys. We hope you enjoyed learning about dinosaur names. Feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section about what your favorite dinosaur name is, whether from this video or any other crazy ones that you can find on your own. And if you ever want to learn more about dinosaurs, feel free to come on into the museum. We'd love to talk with you in person. And we'll see you guys next time.